Welcome to the Off Base Podcast. The podcast carefully crafted to remind you to suck a fat one if you think you're the only one. Because you're not. I'm not. I'm your host. I'm the Rocky Mountain no-name Jackass. And it's 42 degrees. Oh, the big yawn. 42 degrees in the city of Aurora at 7:49 in the a.m. on Thursday, January 13th, 2022. 22. Let's chaw it up. Hey now. My wife's favorite part of the podcast. Ew. Ew. Can't even look at you when you do that shit. I know. Let's go. Chow time. What movie? Endgame. Tony Stark, baby. Here we go. So, what's going on today? Well, I'll tell you this much what's going on today. I am hungry as hell. We are in our final week of our phase 2 of our year-long workout program, with my goal to be for my stepson to feel comfortable taking his shirt off when he goes in a pool or to the beach. Because he's getting, 15, 16. The ladies will be starting to notice him even more. And I want him to have confidence in himself, particularly his body. It's never just one thing, everybody. Never. My wife and I are fond of saying that. It's never just one thing. It's not just having confidence in your body. It's having confidence in your brain. It's having confidence in your feelings. That's the toughest one by far, because there's no classes on that, except, of course, if you're a psychologist, which my wife is. Oh my God, there's a freaky looking dog next to me. Hey, fucker. Rup, rup. Dude's got his window open in Colorado in the winter, just so his dog can smell the outside. Anyway, hungry as hell because what I'm trying to do now as we prep for phase 3 is not only increase my overall strength, but now I'm getting into the flexibility aspect as well, so that by the time we hit phase 4 then, after we have built our base, our power base, and have gotten the overall body stronger, and for me now going into phase 3, I want my body more flexible, so that going into phase 4, I'll be able to pump up the cardio aspect of things. Now, cardio-wise, I could ride a Peloton, which my wife does every morning. I mean, we are getting up there in age. And a Peloton, of course, is going to be phenomenal on your joints. But I'm not in that mindset yet, because to do low impact, like very, very low impact cardio, as Peloton riding is, I mean, you got to do a lot of it. You got to do extended amounts of time on the bike in order to get the workout that you could get by doing high impact cardio, where you're doing other shit, running, jumping, blah blah blah. I love the jumping. I would actually, a couple months ago, I actually had the thought, wouldn't it, because when I was in high school and I played basketball, I could grab the rim with both hands and hang out up there, but I could never throw one down. And I was thinking a couple months ago, it'd be really cool to be able to say that I dunked a basketball in my lifetime. And to do it by the age of 50 might be a really, really cool goal. we'll see. I'll continue to play with that one and see how that one develops. But you know, there's just something about the best dunkers of all time when I think about it. Obviously, Michael Jordan, you know, put dunking on the map. He was so elegant with it. Dr. J, of course, preceded him, and Dr. J was the freaking man. But my favorite dunkers were always the power dunkers. I loved watching Charles Barkley dunk, man. That dude was just a beast. Just coming in, two-hand slam, wham! But before Barkley, on the same team, Philadelphia 76ers, who am I talking about? That's right, Chocolate Thunder himself, Daryl Dawkins. Used to love watching Chocolate Thunder dunk. He was the first, I think, to break the backboard. It was him. Shaq's done like 3 of them. And I'll never forget, I was watching the game on TV when Jerome Lane did it, playing for the University of Pittsburgh. And who else did it? I think it was J.R. Reed when he was playing for North Carolina. I think J.R. Reed played for North Carolina. It was definitely a North Carolina game, because I remember the uniform the guy was wearing. It was white and had the blue lettering, light blue lettering. It was a Tar Heel. It was definitely a Tar Heel who broke a backboard. But anyway, the two-handed power jammers were the ones that I always loved to watch. And I'll give kudos to LeBron James as much as you know, the debate has been going on about who's the greatest of all time, LeBron, Michael, blah, blah, blah. I, of course, have my bias. But LeBron, man, just his overall athletic ability is, without a doubt, one of the greatest things that we could see as a sports fan. And he did with with one-handed jams what all those guys that I just mentioned before were doing with two-handed jams. I mean, just a power that this guy had, throwing it down. Incredible. Speaking of which, I know for some reason I'm reminded of Derrick Rose. If anybody is a basketball fan out there and knows that if Derrick Rose would not have gotten injured, he would have taken the mantle up for the Chicago Bulls and brought that franchise into the 2000s and the 2010s. That poor fucker. I used to love watching him play. That kid, Jesus Christ, he was an explosion machine. Just the burst of energy. Russell Westbrook plays like him as well. I'll tell you, one of my favorite teams to watch when I first started getting into basketball again was when Westbrook, Durant, and Harden were all playing for OKC. God damn, what a triumvirate there. And they had a great supporting cast. I just wish those guys all would have stayed together. But instead now they're creating these super teams, which of course is horrible for all the other smaller markets. But that's where, you know, you got to step in and you got to have somebody step up like Jordan did back in the 80s. When he went to Chicago, he was like, yeah, man, I'll never forget that interview, one of his first interviews that they showed in The Last Dance. Yeah, I just hope that I can help create a franchise like the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics. You get on a team, you stay with a team. Tom Brady, man. New England Patriots, 20 years with those fuckers. 6 Super Bowls. That's what it's all about. That's why people were so mad that LeBron left Cleveland. Would have loved to have seen him sticking out there the whole way through. Anyway, shit. Come on, people, move over. I'm trying to get in here. Let me in. Oh, Jesus. Jiminy Christmas. All right, there we go. All right, enough talking about basketball for right now. Well, actually, pro basketball. Stepson's playing in the pep band tonight. He's got 3 games that he's playing at. So we went to his game on Saturday, was it, or Friday last week? The boys played and the girls played, so he had a doubleheader. But I don't understand what the third game is. If his pep band was playing like at the JV games, that's pretty cool. I didn't have no band playing when I was playing JV. Anyway, he's got that tonight, and I gotta come back this way to pick up my stepdaughter. She's got a dentist's appointment at noon. So I'll come back, and she's so funny, man. She keeps saying stuff like, hey, after the dentist appointment, I mean, there's really not going to be that much time left. Do you really have to take me back to school? She did that the last time I took her to a dentist appointment. And I keep, and now I have resolved myself to this answer when she asks me a question like that. I'm like, yeah, do you really think I'm going to say yes to your questions? Do I really have to go back to school? Or not yes, but agree to her questions. Like, do I really have to go back to school? Oh, no, you don't really have to go back to school. Like, I'm going to say that. But I think she knows now. So now it's becoming a lot of fun. It's like when whenever I have a surprise for my wife or for somebody in the family and they try to guess what it is, I tell them, look, whatever you guess, I'm just going to say yes. Be like, oh, what'd you get me? Did you give me lingerie? Yes! Did you give me a new bag? Yes! Did you give me a pair of shoes? Yes! So now that's what it is. What it is, motherfucker. That's what it is with my stepdaughter now. When I got to pick her up for a dentist appointment. Any answer, I just agree. So we got that. And then I'll pick them up all later on. And we're going to pick up a rotisserie chicken tonight for dinner. And probably let them have mac and cheese to go along with it. And then I'm going to the gym, bitches. Stepson can't go with me, but I'm still going. I am in the zone as far as workouts go. Because I have been making some fantastic progress. Not only with my numbers, but my body's changing too, kid. Oh, very nice shot of the mountains here. Wow. Woo. Mountains look great. But yeah, just compared to when I would look at myself in the mirror 4 months ago and when I look at myself in the mirror now, I definitely still have a lot of work to do. But I'm liking where it's going. And that's a very funny thing about guys and girls. And my wife and I have had this conversation many times. A guy looks in the mirror and, he might be a tub of shit or out of shape, but he sees like a couple things that look good about his physique. Like my arms have always looked good. I've never been able to get like the six-pack abs. I came a little bit close when I was in my early 30s when I first started doing P90X back in 2008, 2009. I saw some striation down in that particular region, but was never able to get like the full six-pack. But my arms have always looked good. So when I get into tub of shit phase, when I haven't been, working out for a good period of time, and then I start back up, first thing I notice is like my shoulder area. And I'm like, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. And we just have a different confidence level. It might be because of the stuff that media puts out there about how men should look and how women should look. Who knows? But my wife's funny because where I look in the mirror and I find the things that are good about myself, she looks in the mirror and finds all this shit that she thinks is bad about herself. Like she's had 3 children, so and after she's done with her Peloton, which she's been doing for the last month or so, she's been doing a sit-up routine. And her abs have always been strong. And there have been times over the past couple of years where she's gotten them to the point where she can get them to show off. And she looks fucking fantastic. But she is always self-conscious about the area like right underneath her belly button, which she calls her birthing skin. Because, you have 3 kids, your skin's going to stretch. And she said before, I want to get a tummy tuck. I said, you don't need a tummy tuck. Well, she said, no, not a tummy tuck, just to get rid of this extra skin. And I'm like, dude, those are your life battle scars. I'm like, I find those attractive about you. You know? It just means that you were part of the war on life. Now, so I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I don't know. For some odd reason, I don't know if it's odd or not, but I find that attractive about her. You know why? Because it continues to put the stamp of womanhood on her. When I met her, I had just come out of my previous marriage and was dating around for like, I don't know, was it 8 months, maybe 6-8 months? And I lived in a college town. I lived in Charlottesville, Virginia, where University of Virginia is at. So I actually dated, I was in my early 30s, early mid 30s. And a lot of the girls that I had dated were maybe a decade younger than me, and they were just dumb as fucking rock. They were dumb. They didn't know how to hold conversations. So when I met my wife, she was like the first woman that I had dated after I got divorced that I could definitively call a woman. She was a woman. The rest of them were all girls. And when you're a man, when you're a fucking man, like I was, I did not want to be dating girls anymore. It was fucking annoying. I wanted a woman, and I got one. So everything about her that screams woman is attractive to me. So I think that's probably why what she calls her birthing skin is attractive to me. I like it. I mean, I don't go, rub it all day long or go down there and lick it. It's not like gross like that. It's just, it defines her womanhood. So anyway, differences between guys and girls looking in the mirror. It's very funny. I mean, I was just checking myself out this morning. And I was like, yeah, man, everything from the chest up is starting to look really good. and that really was my goal here through phase 2, and it's going to be in phase 3, is to make the upper body have the beginnings of that V shape. And to get that V shape, you need broad shoulders and a tapered lateral / back area, which is why we've been doing so many pull-ups, is to strengthen the lat muscles and to give my physique that detail, so that once I hit phase 4, well, now I've got the V in place. Now it's just a matter of shredding off the midsection. Am I looking forward to it? Kind of yes, kind of no. That's really the toughest part of a workout program, is doing that cardio work, at least for me. I love lifting weights. I love throwing weights around. And I'm trying to figure out what exactly we're going to do for phase 4, because I got a couple different options. Like, I could run through a Shaun T insanity cycle with my stepson, because the Shaun T workouts were my favorites by far. Tony Horton's great, man. He gets you in the door. But Shaun T, his workouts are, unless you're in top physical condition, they're very, very difficult to complete without pausing, catching your breath. And I love that, because it makes you work, and it pushes your body to the limits. And in Tony Horton's workouts, once I got myself in better shape, well, then I could push myself through it. But Tony himself doesn't necessarily say, hey, push a little bit harder. Well, he might, but not to the level that Shaun T does. So we could do a round of insanity. We could even do CrossFit, which I've never done before, which I really want to do. Our friends who live in Colorado Springs, the ones who are the super athletes, even in their 40s, they do CrossFit all the time. And the husband, I talked about him before on a prior podcast. He played tailback for Air Force when he went to the academy. And even now, like, his back is ridiculous. Like, you go to give him a hug, and you're like, holy shit. Dude's like a statue of Atlas. He's in great shape. And he's a good friend to have to motivate me to do better in terms of my overall physical fitness. All right, so I got that going on tonight. The weekend coming up, we have a dinner reservation on Saturday at a Brazilian steakhouse. We didn't go last Saturday because we worked the Broncos game. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. And, you know, it's only Thursday. 2 days away. I'm looking forward to it. If y'all have never been to a Brazilian steakhouse, man, Brazilian steakhouses are the shit. I'm probably going to work out before we go and then not eat until we get there and just fucking crush it with all kinds of ribeye and shit. Although last time we went, I think it was their filet mignon that was tasting the best. And my wife doesn't want to go on a Sunday because she knows when we go to Brazilian steakhouse that we're going to eat hard and drink well. We're not going to drink hard. She probably will because I got to drive. But just the combination of a real nice bottle of wine with the Brazilian steakhouse steaks. Whew. And I learned a long time ago, learned my lesson. You go to a Brazilian steakhouse, they're going to come to your table with all the different cuts of meat. They're going to come with sausages. They're going to come with chicken. They're going to come with Parmesan crusted pork tenderloin. And they're going to come with the lesser cuts of beef. They're even going to come with their house special, the picanha. But you got to say no thank you. Not this time. Because I want the cream of the crop. I mean, why would you not go there and get the best cuts of meat for the price that you're paying? And the price that you pay is usually really good. I mean, it's like, what, 45, 50 bucks? So you go crazy on the top cuts of meat, filet mignon, ribeye, you get your money's worth, man. All right, here we are, coming on base. Feeling good about today. I got also 7 hours worth of sleep versus the shithead 3-4 hours that I got the night before because I was a dumbass. Yesterday's podcast, by the way, was quite therapeutic for me. And trying to stop myself from making stupid decisions, stupid choices, when we know the right thing to do, but we don't do it. We choose not to do it. And I was rationalizing yesterday that I was probably making those stupid choices to punish myself for past decisions that I have not rectified or forgiven myself for just yet. So if any of you are in that particular mindset, because I'm not the only one, have a listen to that podcast yesterday. I actually asked for comments. Something I never thought I would do. Oh, I think I see the Moto Man. Is that Moto? Maybe. We'll find out once I roll the windows down. No, this guy's too fat. Here we go. Morning, sir.
Morning, how we doing, sir?
Not too shabby.
Not too bad.
I got it, cool. All right. Back on base. Let's get to work. I'm going to go home. I'm going to have about 4 or 5 eggs. Let's cook them up on our griddle. Probably have some keto coffee. I've been doing pretty well on the diet. Oh, yesterday. That's right. For the first time in a long time. On a day that I didn't work out. Well, I did work out. I did yoga. But I got home and, you know, our modus operandi is to have some type of alcoholic beverage with dinner or while I'm preparing dinner. But yesterday, man, I didn't want anything. Didn't want anything at all. I took that as an extraordinarily good sign. Because as delicious as alcoholic beverages are, they're not going to do wonders for my girlish figure here. There we go, Denver in the foreground, mountains in the background. That's the sign to cut things off. But yeah, I hope I get more days like I did yesterday, where I wasn't even craving alcohol during dinner time. That's a good thing. I don't exactly know what I would credit it to. It's never just one thing. Could be the fact that I'm working out. Could be I had that little bit of a psychological therapeutic breakthrough yesterday. Who knows? But whatever it was, I didn't drink yesterday, and I don't feel bad about it. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great one out there, and I'll smell you tomorrow.